Hello, my royal lovelies. Welcome back to the channel, and as always, welcome to my home. Let me just adjust that camera slightly. We are doing a live chat today, a live stream. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I know not everyone finds Mother's Day a happy occasion, so however you are finding Mother's Day, I hope that you are healthy and happy. So let's get into today's topics. By the way, I'm not feeling terribly wonderful today. I think I've got a bug or a cold or something. So um, I'll try not to stay on terribly too long. But as always, it's a live chat, so I love the viewer interaction. So please type questions, comments, anything that you'd like me to talk about, and I will talk about it. So hello to, I can see the Oslovian is already here. So as you can tell from the title of this video, we are going to be talking about Catherine's photo, her Mother's Day photo that she has put out with, of course, the Wales children. We're going to be talking about Prince Andrew's 60th birthday, Harry and Meghan's PR shame. Do they have no shame? I don't think they do. Their latest display of PR shame that they think that we're all going to buy, but we're not. And I also want to talk about Harry's immigration. So I don't know which story we'll start with. Let's start with a nice story. Let's start with Catherine, the lovely photograph of Catherine and George, Charlotte, and Louis released for Mother's Day. So I'm going to bring it up in front. Now, like I say, I'm not feeling terribly wonderful, so I was going to do a pre-recorded video so I could show you all photos, but there it is. There we are. They are looking rather gorgeous in this photo. They always look well presented. They always look well turned out. And typically kind of the colour that you would think of. I think people often associate, things with colours. So, for example, if you were to think of, I don't know, Kim Kardashian, you would think of like a nude colour, wouldn't you? Like a kind of nude beige shade. If you would to think of different people, you think of them maybe in colours. The Wales family, Catherine, William, George, Charlotte, and Louis, they're often dressed in blue. So I think this kind of blue colour is, and I'm wearing blue today in the Prince Albert brooch, which is very sort of reminiscent of Catherine's engagement ring, the Princess Diana ring. So you think of them in blue, but it's nice to see a little bit of other colours creeping in. We see Princess Charlotte wearing a kind of mulberry colour that I would kind of describe that as. And aren't the children looking all grown up these days? They're looking. I mean, of course, children grow, don't they? I'm stating the obvious here, but children grow. But sometimes when you haven't seen them for a certain amount of time, and then suddenly you look at them and you think, oh, they've grown, and they certainly have. So for those of you just joining, that is the photo. That's the easiest way of me sharing. So it was nice to see a photograph of Catherine. I think this is what we all wanted. Now, to cut down the naysayers who are already saying that the photograph was one that was taken a while ago, and we do know that royals, for example, for their Christmas cards, do use photographs that they have taken maybe 6 months prior. This is not the case. It was disclosed to the media that it was taken by Prince William, the Prince of Wales, in the garden. It says Windsor, so I think we can safely assume it is in the grounds of Adelaide Cottage. And if you look in the background, I've been doing a bit of zooming as well, trying to look in through the window to see what's going on in Adelaide Cottage. But I believe it's at Adelaide Cottage. And they have confirmed that it was taken earlier this week, so a very recent photo. You can also tell by the foliage. Obviously, we are, spring at the moment. I've got all bulbs springing up in the garden. The roses are coming back to life. We're seeing some blossom, buds forming on the trees. So the background of all the greenery fits in with the time of the year. So I have no question in my mind that the photograph is one that was taken earlier this week. So I'm not questioning that at all. But no, I was trying to kind of zoom. You know, you've all done it. You've all pinched and zoomed. Um, Lovely old kind of tiled floor in what must be maybe a porch area, like a portico or something, like a covered area, I'm imagining, with like a bench. You can see a little bit of a sofa or a chair through the window of Adelaide Cottage. It all looks rather lovely and delightful. Very cottage core. I know cottage core is very of the moment right now, so looking very cottagecore in the background. Now, Catherine herself looks very well. I mean, again, I was trying to kind of zoom in to see if there's been any doctoring done or anything trying to be hidden, and I can't see anything. So she's looking healthy. She's looking happy. They're all looking healthy and happy. I mean, the one thing that you can't hide is on children's faces if they are worried and they are stressed out. You can tell on children's faces, and I am seeing three very happy looking children. So yes, I am, and thank goodness we don't have the debacle of the Christmas photo where we can see extra legs and all that kind of thing. All legs and limbs are accounted for this time. Right, I'm going to just pop and read some of the viewer comments. I'm sure you've all got things that you can be talking about. By the way, if you've just joined, I'm not feeling particularly well today. I feel like I've got a cold coming on. So if I do sound a little bit weird, you know why. Um, yes, Lynn, it's lovely to see the Princess of Wales. And the Oslovian says, yes, they grow up so fast. I wonder what joke William told to make them all laugh. He was probably pulling a face from behind the camera. I shouldn't wonder. The Sloven said there is a reason that they are not sitting on her lap. I love the photo. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously she's had abdominal surgery, so you wouldn't expect them to be completely jumping and crawling all over her. She's not at the stage where she's going to be doing cartwheels on the front lawn anytime soon. But George has got his arms around, so he's not, too bothered about that sort of area, especially maybe at that height. So we can maybe assume that the area that was operated on was perhaps a little bit lower than maybe George's arms. But yes, they certainly all do look happy and healthy, I would say, and it's nice to see them. Jennifer says outdoorsy dress. Seemed to me that Catherine must be getting out to exercise by walking to recuperate. Yes, and of course they do say to when you're recovering, to get out as soon as you possibly can and return to as normal a routine as you possibly can, depending on how well you are to do it. I mean, I know I've seen television programs where people have had tummy tucks and they've literally had a cut all the way around, and they've been stitched back together, and they are told after a certain amount of time that you need to get up and stretch and so that the scar doesn't tighten and all the rest of it. I'm not suggesting she's had a tummy tuck. There's nothing of her to tuck, let's be honest. But it's the same kind of thing. If you've had surgery, they do tell you, even with um, that kind of surgery, to stand up and stretch and to get things moving. So I'm just using that as an example, my love. I'm not putting things out there that she's had a tummy tuck or anything of that nature. Um, Larumba says, yeah, the children do look like they have grown. That's what I said. I mean, really, we sort of saw them, properly at Christmas. And it's only been a few months, but yet here we are, and they look like they have grown already. Verna says, was she wearing jeans? Yes, I think that is jeans. I definitely think that is jeans. Let's have a look. So, yes, they're like those kind of skinny, like legging type jeans, the really, really figure hugging body type jeans. So yes, I've got a pair of jeans, very very similar. Uh, maybe we could swap jeans. No, she's a smaller size than me, my loves. I wish I was Catherine's size, to be honest. Anyway, Ralph, the photo is not old. It has, well, the media, i.e., what normally happens with photographs when they are released. is that there's normally a little bit of information that goes to journalists that are writing the articles. So, normally, for example, I don't know, it could be a photo where there's information about the jewelry or the designers that they're wearing. And normally, when it comes to a photograph that's released to mark an occasion, the location and the timescale is also released. So, if they are saying that it was taken last week by Prince William, then that is the information that they have been told. So I don't know what you've seen, or actually, let me know. Let me know who is saying that it was an older photo, and what is their evidence, what is their proof for that. To me, it looks like a current photo. All of the foliage fits. The children obviously look, as we've just spoken about, they look a little bit older than what they did at Christmas. Obviously, children grow and change. So it all kind of fits into me that it is a real photo. Um, so yes, and also the fact that they're not, sitting all on a lap and whatever, shows that perhaps there is a sensitive area that maybe they're trying to avoid. Right. Hello to everyone who is just joining. Right, I am now going to move on to a different story. So I'm glad that we've seen Catherine. Of course, there's still going to be speculation. Of course, there is. It's never going to stop, my loves. But anyway, I'm going to talk now a little bit about Prince Edward's 60th birthday. So he is 60 today, and he has his birthday has been marked by a series of events. We've had a wonderful, magnificent, glowing speech by by his wife Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, who basically I'm going to paraphrase. She basically said that he doesn't sort of court a lot of attention or a lot of glory, but when he does get it, he really, really appreciates it, and he's really kind of struck and taken back by any kind of praise. So, for example, when the king made him the Duke of Edinburgh, um, that really meant a lot to Edward. He quietly gets on with service and duty. Sophie called him her rock, her best friend, and it was a really, really lovely um, collection of words, a speech, almost a love letter that she made public to Edward. And I thought that was lovely. And he kind of sat on watching, and I was trying to look at his face to see what's he really thinking in this moment. But he looked like he was appreciative, and I think he would have liked and appreciated that. But the king has gone one step further because he has appointed him to the Order of the Thistle, which is kind of the counterpart to the Order of the Garter, but it's the Scottish version. So you have the Order of the Garter, and then you've got the Scottish Order of the Thistle. The thistle being the kind of national symbol, if you like, or one of the national symbols of Scotland. So he will be highly, highly honoured. Of course, he is also the Earl of Forfar, which when he is in Scotland. So that I think will be a really lovely, well appreciated thing for Edward. Also, there is a new photograph released. In fact, there's been a few photos, but here is a photo of the lovely Prince Edward at 60 with one of his dogs. Again, looking very kind of countrified. The royal family do love a gilet, don't they? They do most definitely love a gilet. I imagine that was taken at Bagshot Park, their home, not terribly too far away from Windsor. So a very, very, very big, happy 60th birthday to the Duke of Edinburgh. Like I say, he's done a few TV things as well. I think he's going to appear on something with Alan Titchmarsh, where he does actually speak about his father as well. He kind of says that sometimes when he walks into a room and there's all the place settings and it says the Duke of Edinburgh, that he's often thinking, well, where am I sitting? Because he sometimes still doesn't kind of get the change that the Duke of Edinburgh is in fact him. So yes, a very, very, very big happy 60th birthday. But also, it does again bring us back to the working royal family and how the average age of a working member of the royal family um, is quite high, shall we say? So I think they do need to get some younger royals involved. Lady Louise, James, Earl of Wessex, would be fantastic to bring in at some point when it is suitable for them to do so. James still a bit young, and of course Lady Louise still going through her education. Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, I will say it until the cows come home. I think they would be absolutely perfect to bring into the fold. Let's have a look. Yes, he was. Edward was emotional after Sophie's words. I think that's a good way of describing it. And Lauren says, I love how the family dogs are usually included in the photos. They are. And of course, Her Late Majesty was well known for having lots of little doggies, corgis running around sometimes in her photos. And I love that one of the last photos of her when she was standing between two of her horses. That was a really, 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 really lovely moment. Okay, I now want to move on to Harry's immigration. So we know that members of, I think it's the Heritage Foundation, um, have put in a request that was initially, I think, denied to obtain Prince Harry's immigration documents, application, whatever it might be, to see what he put on his application. Did he include his drug use that he admitted to in Spare? Now we know from recent weeks that the US government has kind of said, well, just because he said it in Spare doesn't necessarily mean that it was true. So, kind of casting shade on Harry's memoir Spare and saying that, well, actually, just because he's said it in there, I mean, it's quite a weird thing to say, really. Just because he said it in a book, admitted to it, doesn't make it true. Well, again, that kind of plays into. I don't quite know how to take it because, on the one hand, it's like saying we don't believe Spare; it's a complete pack of lies, which I think a lot of people can probably agree with that he's most definitely fabricated and stretched the truth, if not put in quite a number of big fat fibs, shall we say, for want of a better word. So there's that side of it, and then the other side of it is, well, if he's admitted to something, is that testimony? Is that testament to the fact that he has? So it makes me kind of think, which bits of Spare are we picking or choosing to agree with, depending upon whether it fits with a certain narrative. So that's kind of one thing I think to consider. But anyway, I think they contested that decision, and a judge has now demanded that Biden's DHS must hand over Prince Harry's immigration papers so he can decide whether to release them publicly. So I think what this means is he wants a reason as to why it would be damaging, or why, for example, it should be hidden by Prince Harry. What's Prince Harry got to hide? So the judge wants to see these papers. The judge has demanded to see them so that he can make his own mind up of whether or not it should be released. Now, Harry's camp has always put out that he was honest and truthful on his visa application form, but of course the secrecy behind it may prove otherwise. What do you guys think Harry put on his visa application? Do you think he was honest and put the same things that he put in Spare? Do we think he was making it up in Spare for some bizarre reason to make himself look cool, or make himself look like he was driven to taking those sorts of substances because of his terrible life in the UK, where he was given free homes and cars and money and a job and all the rest of it? What do we think it is? The only way we're really going to find out is if those papers are disclosed to the judge, and then the judge makes it public. If the judge decides that he's not going to make it public because there is a real reason as to why Harry should keep his documents private, then we're not going to know, or we'll know that there is a reason behind it. So I want to know what people are thinking about all of that. Oh, good. Meza is going back to Kate's photo. Looks like a new photo to me. You can see how much the children have changed. Exactly. That's exactly my reasoning as well. They have definitely changed since Christmas. Gregory says there were many people wanting to give the book back, doubting all in the book. Yes, and that's one thing I think that the Sussex squad and also Harry and Meghan themselves have kind of got completely wrong. Just because Harry's book sold well does not mean that people were buying it to support Harry. A lot of people were just being nosy. A lot of people just wanted to hear what Harry had got to say. What the strong sales of the book prove is that there is actually an interest in the British royal family, because that's what Harry was writing about. He was writing about his life from his point of view, from within the royal family. So really, the popularity of the book was a win for the interest in the British royal family, not necessarily support for Harry himself. And I think that's what a lot of people get wrong. Oh, it was the best-selling book. It was a best-selling book. It made all these millions. Yes, of course it did, because he was trash talking his own family, the British royal family, of which he derives everything that he has today from. So I would look at it from the point of view that, it's the royal family that are popular. It proves that there is a global interest in the royal family. Let's have a look. Meza says Rachel's niece Ashley is an immigration lawyer. I wonder if she helped him with the paperwork. Well, can he even spell his own name? I mean, I would imagine, I would imagine, Archie's teaching him how to read. They can learn together, can't they, my loves? Um, let's have a look. Oh, by the way, there is a cat behind me. Can you see? He just kind of snorted. I am hiding a whole cat. Oh, I have a donation from Kathy, $9.99. Love your channel. Thank you so much. I really, really, really do appreciate that. Thank you. I can buy some. I can buy some. I can buy some cold and flu medication with that today. Thank you so much. Um, Cinder Ann says yes, it's a new photo, and the judge in the US is a Trump supporter, so you know what that means. Well, we know that there are elections coming up, not only in the US, we're getting them over here in the UK as well for our sins. So it's a major election year for the US. It's a major election year for the UK as well. So we're in it together, my loves. We'll get through this together. We really will. And in fact, I think at the moment we might be going through elections at roughly the same time, round about September. I think it's September for you guys. Um, so, so yes, I think depending upon who gets in the US, that may have a favourable or negative, from the Sussexes' point of view, impact perhaps on life for the Sussexes. Um, and I would probably say that maybe if Trump were to get back into office, that most definitely. Well, let's put it this way: he's made no secret of the fact that he doesn't really like the Monster of Montecito, does he? He's not her biggest fan. I don't think he's got the box set of Suits. Um, yes, so, and I certainly don't think he'll want he'd want Meghan singing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" to Trump, like she was singing on her PR blitz. We'll get to that in a moment. So yes, I think it's a major election year. Whatever side you fall on, that I'm not bothered. Just my main point is just go out and vote. whatever political persuasion you are, your vote is important. Register to vote, go out to vote. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Janet says Harry was let into the US during the Trump administration. His rhetoric about Harry is just campaign BS. Don't expect him to throw out anyone. He doesn't have that power. He can make it very difficult for Harry, and I think that if Harry was found out to be lying, that would be another damaging blow to the Sussexes. I've already said that I think 2024 is a make or break year. It's looking like it's going to be a break year. I think 2025 will be the complete collapse of the Sussexes. So it all kind of fits in. If a new administration gets in, at the next election, then 2025, I don't think is looking very, very good for the Sussexes at all. I mean, it's not looking good even if there isn't a change of administration, to be quite honest. Lauren says, I'm sure we will hear something for the UK Mother's Day. From the children they want to keep private. Well, Archie and Elliot, so far we've not heard a peep from them. I mean, obviously it is UK Mother's Day, which is not the same as US Mother's Day. So whether or not they will do something for UK Mother's Day, I don't know. I mean, Meghan is not a UK mother. She's a US mother. So it makes more sense whilst they're living in the US to make a bit more of a fuss and an occasion of US Mother's Day rather than UK Mother's Day. But it would be a nice touch to recognise Harry's home country, of which, of course, it all looks like they're trying to worm their way back into with the PR blitz and the potential hiring of a PR guru in the UK to rehabilitate Megsy Baby 2.0's image in the UK, of which she hates. She hates the UK, but yet she wants to rehabilitate her image in the UK. Why? Well, obviously, they want to come back to the UK. They want to come crawling back. They want a plan B. They know that in 2025, when it all goes completely balls up, for want of a better word, tits up, as we say in the UK, but by the time it goes tits up in 2025, they want a fallback plan. They want a plan B, and they want to be able to come back. But they're going to find it very difficult with their PR so low. Megsy Baby 2.0 knows this. She knows that she needs to rehabilitate her PR. I mean, my goodness, it would be easier to raise the Titanic. It really would. There is no way Megsy Baby 2.0 is going to be rehabilitated in the UK anytime soon. Apparently, Mother's Day in the US is in May. There we go. I knew it was different. Steve Elliott says, Happy birthday to Prince Edward. Loved the Duchess of Edinburgh's words to her husband. Owen, yes. At whose behest were they visiting? Now, I never know how to pronounce this, so I don't really want to get it wrong. Is it Uvalde or Uvalde? But you know what I'm talking about. They are not official representatives for anyone except themselves. Right, so let's talk about this because I thought that this was shameful, absolutely shameful PR. Harry and Meghan are doing it yet again. They are using the misfortunes, the real horrific misfortunes of people to promote themselves, to bolster their own PR. It's absolutely hideously, it's just wrong. It's just completely hideous and wrong. It's shameful. It's absolutely 100% shameful. There she is with a birthday cake. Eat my cake, eat my cake. Eat my Megsy Baby 2.0 cake. Blow out my candles. I mean, she's all there, isn't she? Up front with the cake, singing happy birthday. She wanted her Marilyn moment. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Megsy Baby loves you. I mean, my goodness, I wanted to throw up and hurl. I really did. It was just terrible. Shameful, shameful, shameful. Shame on them. They ought to be absolutely shocked and appalled. And of course, it all made the media. This wasn't private. It was all for the cameras. It was all for the razzle dazzle moment, wasn't it? It was all for the pearl shimmy shake, the Megsy baby shimmy shake. It was just completely disgusting. And when you think what those poor people have gone through, and then you've got Megan coming in singing. I mean, my goodness. I said a few videos ago, my goodness, thank goodness that she can't sing because, you know, is she planning on launching a pop career? Oh my goodness, can you imagine being subjected? Does she think she's the new Adele? Does she think she's the new Tay Tay? Oh my goodness, it doesn't bear thinking about, does it? Being objected not only to the chicken legs of Meghan, but to her set of pipes as well. The horror, the absolute horror. And then Harry was there tagging along. Oh, with his hand across his heart. Oh my, oh. Horrific. Absolutely horrific. I mean, that poor family. And then being used in such a way for a PR blitz. It's absolutely horrific. I want to see what people are saying about this. Meza says, I can't believe they did that after she turned up in Uvalde with the Netflix cameras in tow. Absolutely despicable. That they should make a new movie. Pixar, not was it Pixar that did Despicable Me? Whoever did Despicable Me should make a new one called Despicable Meg. That's what they should do. Um, let's have a look. Janet says MM, Meghan Markle, is a narcissist. She probably thinks she can sing. Oh, my ears. Get me the earplugs quick. Get me the earplugs. Lauren says it must be a difficult day for Prince Edward with it being Mother's Day and his birthday. Yes, because of course, having lost his mother, reasonably recently, I think we can still say that it was reasonably recent. I think everyone will be kind of thinking about their mothers, which is why I said at the start of this video, Happy Mother's Day, but for some people it can be a sad occasion as well. So we do need to recognise that. The King also has posted for Mother's Day a picture of himself with his late mother, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Sandy says the UK can have them back. We don't want them. Well, we don't want them either. Maybe we should maybe we should revoke their citizenship. If they don't want to be here, then maybe you can have them lock, stock, and barrel. It's a gift. There we go. Gregory says it can be like pass the parcel. Who wants them? Does Canada want them? Does the UK want them? Does the US want them? Does Africa want them? And when I say Africa, I'm talking about Africa, South Africa. Does South Africa want them? Does Australia want them? It's like a hot potato, isn't it? Pass them round. They're like the booby prize, as we say in the UK. Gregory says, I did predict they will go to France and rent the Duke and Duchess of Windsor's property. Well, I think that's probably highly unlikely. I think the French are too. I don't think they'd put up with it, to be quite honest. In fact, I'm quite really shocked and surprised that the US has put up with it as much as what they have. Well, you guys have, to be quite honest. I can't believe there's not, you know, well, you know what I mean. I'm surprised they've got this far. Like I said, 2024 is going to be the make or break. I'm feeling break, and then 2025 is going to be that is the downfall year. Absolutely. Um, Poon says, Elliot, your far right, MAGA deranged British press, evil narcissist, sociopath, royalist. No. In the UK, you cannot say that the press as a whole entity is any one political persuasion. We do have left wing and right wing press, as you do in the US as well. So no, the British press is not one, one entity, one political persuasion. There are many different publications and news outlets that support the main two political parties in the UK. So that, I think, is a very incorrect assessment of the UK media. Kathy says, to become a diplomat, one must pass a very rigorous test. Harry wouldn't have been able to pass that test. He's not representing the UK officially. And Cinder says, send them to Africa. Their charity needs their help. Oh my goodness. Well, there was one point when, back in, was it 2018? I remember talking about, there was rumours swirling that they wanted the palace to allow them to go to Africa and maybe spend about 6 months to a year in Africa. That plan was shot down, or rather, that wish was shot down. And that could also be another reason potentially why Harry and Meghan had the hump with the UK monarchy and the establishment, because they didn't get their own way. But now, of course, they are free to go wherever they want, as long as the places where they're going are willing to have them under whatever conditions they enter under. So the fact that they haven't gone to Africa or any country within the continent of Africa kind of proves, I think, Harry and Meghan's level of commitment to Africa. Africa suits Harry and Meghan when it suits them. And when it doesn't, they're all Hollywood and glitz and glam, or rather, they think they are Hollywood and all glitz and glam. Barbara says, the family in Uvalde lost a loved one. They did indeed. Harry and Meghan kept in contact with the family, and Texas is known for having the best barbecue. Barbecue? Ask some of your UK citizens like Josh and Ollie. But you have to ask the motives, because Harry and Meghan have kept in contact with a lot of different charities, organisations. It's almost like treading water until they can get their glory moment. Who can forget, again, the despicable moment around Remembrance Sunday when they employed a photographer to take pictures of them walking through a graveyard of war veterans? I mean, it was shocking. It really was shocking. It didn't go down very well in the US, and it didn't go down very well here in the UK either. So Harry and Meghan play these disasters, which are horrific disasters, and these people should not be preyed upon. These people should not be used in the way that Harry and Meghan use them. Harry and Meghan are like, I don't know, they take disaster and they try and spin it for their own PR. Now, really, if they cared about these people and they cared about all these different things, we wouldn't know about it because they'd be doing it privately. They'd be doing it off their own back, which shows that they are being genuine. When members of the royal family, working members of the royal family, do something of that nature, they are doing it on behalf of the nation. So there is a purpose. It's not self-serving, it is serving the nation, it is service and duty. When Harry and Meghan removed themselves from the working royals, when they stepped back, they lost that defense. They cannot use that anymore because everything they do is for their own self-promotion. The Netflix documentaries, future books, future projects, it's all not looking good, and it's not comparable to members of the royal family. Poon thinks that the majority of American and British citizens love and support Harry and Meghan. The popularity of British royal family and monarchy are sinking. I don't think so, my love. I most definitely get a sense that, at least in Britain, I mean, I'm not a US citizen, but from what I'm hearing from the US, Harry and Meghan are going down like a lead balloon. Originally, I'm hearing that they were well received, hence getting the Netflix deal, hence getting Spotify. But since then, because of their own actions, they have plummeted and declined and declined and declined. In the US, in the UK, since they left, their popularity has nosedived even quicker than it has been in the US. Let's put it this way: if they were universally loved in the US or the UK, why do they need all of these PR blitzes? Why do they need PR gurus to turn around their fortunes? Um, so that statement does not ring true, I'm afraid. Let's have a look. Barbara says, go to Texas. I would actually like to go to Texas, to be quite honest. That's one place I would actually like to go. Um, I have some friends there, and you will find out they have the best brisket. I know about the brisket. My friends in Texas, I've seen their brisket, and Meghan and Harry visited the pits where they smoke the brisket for hours, and the smell is wonderful. Well, maybe Meghan came out there smelling like brisket. I agree, Lady AJ USA says, as I have always said, there's an old saying that applies: you reap what you sow. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Um, Owen says Meghan has a nerve saying she was bullied while pregnant. No, Meghan, you were being called out for the bad behaviour. There's a difference. Looking forward to Commonwealth Day tomorrow. Yes, there are all these big events still coming up. They're still on the table. Obviously, the King won't be there, but the Commonwealth Day service will be led by Her Majesty, the Queen. Right, let's have a look. Right, I think I've actually done pretty much all of my stories. I'm just checking. Oh, there was one other story. Sarah, Duchess of York, and Princess Eugenie. Now, Princess Eugenie has been kind of co-founder of a charity called the Anti-Slavery Collective for a number of years now. Um, Probably over 10 years, maybe. And she's done a lot of work to tackle modern slavery. And she has sort of recognized and honored her mother, Sarah, Duchess of York, in a kind of a podcast and interviews. But so she wanted to speak to her. And there's some really sweet words. I think you can see it on the Anti Slavery Collective YouTube channel or some of their social medias. But there is also a shorter clip on Instagram on Princess Eugenie's Instagram page. So do go and check that out. It does look very, very, very interesting, and I just love how the two York princesses really do prop up and support their mother, who you can tell they have the utmost respect for. And there has been a little bit of heat with the Yorks recently, again surrounding money and kind of, I suppose, dodgy dealings. Now, these are kind of historic dodgy dealings, I think round about the 2019 mark. The Yorks have since, and I'm not talking Beatrice and Eugenie, but Andrew and Sarah have since tried to kind of clean up, I think, their financial arrangements and the things that they do. I think at one time, they did used to trade off their royal connections to, for example, get some money, and they paid back a certain amount of money. It was a bit of a weird situation. This lady used a man, a solicitor, or someone in the legal profession to, I think she was trying to come to the UK, and she paid some money via this sort of middleman to Andrew. I think it was like £750,000, and then some to Beatrice, and no, for Princess Eugenie, I think, for her wedding. Um, and in exchange, I think Sarah invited this lady over for dinner to Royal Lodge lots of times. Anyway, once this, I think, started to get a little bit of heat years ago now, the money was paid back by Andrew and Sarah. So there is a little bit of a something rumbling on at the moment, and we're kind of waiting to see a little bit more what comes of that. Um, they are not named in any kind of legal wrongdoing with regards to this, but it's interesting to see how that as a story pans out in the future. So once I hear any more about that, I'll let you guys know. But Andrew and Sarah have not been involved in any of that sort of money scandal since that date. It's only now that we know about something that happened a while ago, if that makes sense. So I think Andrew and Sarah are very much trying to clean up their monetary act, which again leads me to the conclusion, well, not the conclusion, but the thought that perhaps it would be good one day for Andrew and Sarah to remarry, because at that point they wouldn't have to worry about money or doing any kind of deals. They would be able to, well, I don't think they'd go back to being working royals, not at the moment with how the current climate is. But I think that they would have that stability and possibly be able to pretty much go into some kind of retirement. Let me know your thoughts and comments on all of this. I think, that's a story that is ongoing at the moment. Poon says that the royal family have only 45% support in England. No, they don't. The monarchy has always enjoyed really good support in the UK. As always, there are troughs and dips, but at no point has it been less than 50%. And of course, you have to look at polls to see where they come from, what the actual who was being polled, what is the age group, and I certainly have not seen a UK government poll showing only 45% support for the royal family. I think that is a complete load of nonsense, to be quite honest. Wendy says, we are watching the visa situation here in the US. The judge's demands for the declaration and to see the application was quite surprising. Yes, and we are all waiting with bated breath. Janet said, Harry and Meghan's actions have been hateful, and people who criticise their actions are justified. And Jackie says, to me, Sarah has always seemed like a big overgrown puppy, occasionally wheezes on the carpet, but doesn't mean to. Yes, and I did make a video a while ago where I spoke about how endearing she is. She makes mistakes, but then once pointed out or once she realizes that she's made a bit of a boo-boo, she will apologize, and you get a real sense that she has genuinely learned from a mistake. So sometimes I think what we're seeing now is the repercussions of actions that were taken years ago before, she may have learned a lesson. So although it may appear very current, it's actually something pertaining to actions that happened a number of years ago now. Lynn doesn't see Andrew and Sarah getting married. What would be the point? The point would be the security. The point would be perhaps showing that Andrew is trying to start a new life, being committed to one woman. The point might be that they would be able to be financially stable, not as working members of the royal family, but the king might be able to kind of prop them up a little bit and help them in exchange for effectively, not doing any book deals or anything of that nature. So there is a point to remarriage, um, but it depends how Andrew and Sarah wish to play it, and of course, how the king himself sees all of that going. Meza thinks Sarah has a good heart. I do too. Right, I am now going to go. As I said, I'm not feeling my best today. I do have a little bit of I think it's a cold or a bug coming on. I've got a bit of a headache. So I'm going to go and recuperate from the royal bedchamber. So thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment, and also if you do have a social media account, like the dreaded X, or you're a member of a Facebook group about the royals or anything of that nature, please feel free to share the video in that group. You've just got to click the little share arrow underneath the video screen, copy and paste the link, and hopefully more and more people will see the video. So thank you so much for watching. I will be back with royal videos in the week. So until next time, mwah to you all, and goodbye.